Just before dawn this morning, the FBI raided the Florida home of longtime Trump advisor Roger Stone, who'll be joining us in a minute. The CNN producer stood across the street recording it all with a camera as dozens of heavily armed agents piled out of vehicles and swarmed Stone's house. Some carried high-powered rifles with extra magazines hanging from military web gear. Others wore helmets, body armor, and tactical gloves. At least one agent carried 2 separate rifles in addition to his sidearm. The man in front of him appeared to have a flashbang grenade on his belt. The whole team scrambled over Stone's lawn and pounded on the door. Stone appeared. He was barefoot and wearing a T-shirt. The agents slapped him in handcuffs. Before they led him away to jail, Stone told the agents that his wife was upstairs with their dogs. Stone's wife is deaf and didn't understand what was happening. Stone was worried that one of the men in tactical gear might shoot her by accident. Tragedies like that regularly occur during law enforcement raids. And that's why federal agents don't raid the homes of people like Roger Stone. There's no need to. Stone has no history of violence. He doesn't run an international drug cartel. He hasn't been charged with murder or even with spying for Vladimir Putin. Roger Stone is accused of lying during the course of the Russia investigation. Under normal circumstances, during normal times, prosecutors would just call his lawyer and arrange a surrender. Stone is 66 years old. He's so broke from Mueller-related legal expenses that he can't afford health insurance. He is hardly a flight risk. But no, that's not what they did. Instead, the feds went with automatic weapons and a cameraman from CNN. You don't need to be a Roger Stone partisan, a fan, to see that there is something wrong with what happened this morning. The most powerful person in America is now an unelected prosecutor with no functional oversight over what he does. Robert Mueller commands, in effect, his own domestic army. You just saw them. He can use it however he likes, and he does. Mueller crushes people when it's not even necessary to do it, weak people mostly, and he does it in ways that are clearly designed to send a political message. That is not how democracies are supposed to work. And you'd think our media would be bothered by this. Reporters are not supposed to side with prosecutors who abuse their power or anyone else who abuses power. They are supposed to hold the powerful to account. That's why they exist, but not anymore. Now they're all on the same team. Robert Mueller is a hero to our press corps. When his agents raid the home of an elderly man charged with piddling crimes, they air the tape and they celebrate.
Roger Stone, like Donald Trump, is a political con man whose showman shtick has finally caught up with him.
Let me be the first to say, if you look up the word scumbag in the dictionary, you're going to see Roger Stone's picture there.
I am just so damn happy this guy is indicted and arrested. He is a horrible human being. He is a thug. He is a bully. Bye-bye, baby. Karma is a bitch.
How'd you like to have her in charge of your life? So damn happy. So a barefoot Roger Stone is taken to jail. If that thrills you, it may be time to take a break, pause, and reassess what's happened to your soul. But no one reassessed today. They rejoiced. One famous neocon summed up his feelings this way, quote, "Given his proclivities, maybe Roger Stone would enjoy prison." Ha! Get it? Stone may get raped behind bars. How awesome is that? So how should the rest of us people who aren't spending our lives on Twitter feel about what happened this morning? Is America safer? Well, not if you believed in the Russia collusion story. We still haven't caught those villains, assuming they exist. Indeed, 2 years in, there is still no evidence at all that any American committed an actual crime during the 2016 election. Roger Stone, for example, stands accused of misdeeds committed long after the votes were counted. His alleged crimes arose from an investigation into other crimes we have not yet found. The charges against Stone include obstruction of proceedings, witness tampering, 5 counts of lying to Congress. The core of the charges, is that Stone mischaracterized his conversations with a left-wing talk radio host called Randy Credico. Credico, prosecutors say, served as an intermediary with Julian Assange, who runs WikiLeaks. Now, none of what Stone or Credico did in their conversations with Assange is illegal. Journalists do that kind of thing all the time. It's the lying, we are told, that must be punished with jail time. Okay. But again, and we've noted this before, what you're looking at here is a brand new standard of conduct, one that nobody who's been paying close attention to this country for the last 20 years would even recognize. There's an awful lot of lying out there, an awful lot. A lot of it's not even acknowledged as lying. Every time an illegal immigrant lies to a federal immigration officer, that is a felony. Every time a politician lies under oath in the Congress, that's a potential jail term. Both of those happen a lot, but nobody is ever charged for any of it. Now, this is hardly a defense of lying. Lying is bad. It's corrosive. It's one of the main problems with our political system, actually. Everybody lies all the time. But there is at least one thing that is worse than lying, even lying under oath, and it's the selective application of federal law. One standard for the powerful and well-connected, former attorney generals, for example. Another standard for barefoot 66-year-old men with unfashionable political views. Some people skate, others are destroyed. It all depends on who you know. That's what America is becoming, and we ought to fight that.
Joining us now, Jerome Corsi, who himself is facing his own legal fight with the special counsel after rejecting Mueller's plea deal because he says he refuses to lie under oath against President Trump. Dr. Corsi was criminally threatened and coerced to tell a lie, call it the truth, as he explained on this show. And now here to give us further reaction, author of the book Silence No More, Dr. Jerome Corsi. You spent 40 hours with Mueller, correct?
Yes, Sean, 40 hours.
And they were willing to say, and you're 72 years old, right?
Yes, I'm 72.
And in the course of answering questions, you didn't remember emails specifically from 2 years prior.
Correct.
And at times you amended some of your testimony?
Almost continuously, because as I said, I'm not a human tape recorder. You can't punch a button, and I can't remember precisely conversations or emails. In this gotcha game that the Mueller prosecutors were determined to play, it became psychologically really disturbing, and by the end of 40 hours, I think my mind was complete mush.
I can't tell you who was on the show Monday, so I don't know. I'm with you. But when you found out and when you went through your papers and your emails and stuff, you said, uh-oh, I got that wrong. Here's the truth. You amended it. First, your reaction to the pre-dawn raid of Roger Stone today.
Well, I was shocked. I mean, I think this is Gestapo-like tactics. I mean, what's the point in having all these armed police with riot gear bursting into a house at 7 a.m., wife and Roger in bed? I mean, this is not America. This is not the way we treat people in America who are basically trying just to be political operatives who are earning a living. And, I mean, it frightens me to think what the FBI could do bursting into my home with my wife asleep and the family asleep. There's no need for it. And I think increasingly that we're seeing an out-of-control Mueller operation that is determined to terrorize people and criminalize politics. I think it's very frightening for the direction of America.
Do you still fear, because when you refused to sign what you said was a lie, what was said to you and your attorneys, and are you afraid that they're now going to pre-dawn raid you in your house?
Well, it could happen. I mean, the attorneys, my attorneys were told by the Mueller group, well, we'll take it from here. Very angry, arrogant. And that's, of course, now been the end of November, and nothing has happened. I think when I read this indictment today, it's absolutely clear I'm not being accused of no wrongdoing. I've done nothing wrong, Sean. I brought in and offered all my computers, my backup systems, my cell phone, my emails. I went in to cooperate. I've offered to cooperate throughout the process, and I did not willingly and knowingly give information I knew to be false to deceive the special prosecutor. I had memory problems.
You were referred to as person number one in Roger's indictment, and they go through a series of emails that were, and communications between the two of you, where basically, you know, you're saying, oh, what does WikiLeaks have now? This is after Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the first Clinton email dump, which we never would have gotten probably if a lot of these things were better protected. That's a different issue for a different day. But it's mentioned you want to find out. You were working for WorldNet Daily at the time. You wanted to find out, like everyone else in the media, what else did Julian Assange and WikiLeaks have? What was he going to release next? And you were talking about it. Now, I know that you wrote a dissertation at Harvard, did you not, on the Pentagon Papers?
Yes, in fact, that's my PhD dissertation in 1972 in the Department of Political Science. It was on the Pentagon Papers case. I mean, I'm thinking that was now 47 years ago. I mean, it was amazing to me that that's what I focused on. But as a journalist, I had a right to talk with Assange, to speak with Assange, to publish what Assange had. It's just that I had no contact with Assange.
The New York Times published it.
Yes.
Yeah, and by the way, you said to me, you've never talked to Julian Assange.
Never. And I've never talked to him.
Neither is Roger Stone, if I remember correctly.
As far as I know, I mean, Roger can speak for himself, but I know for myself that I have never spoken with Julian Assange directly or indirectly.
So
had no contact.
So comparing the Pentagon Papers case, which you did a dissertation ironically on, and looking at this case, all you and Roger want to know is, what does he have? Neither one of you were part of a conspiracy to steal information from anybody, nor did you steal any information from anybody. The precedent's 6-3 Supreme Court decision in the Pentagon Papers case, the U.S. against the New York Times, clearly states that the Times had a right to publish information as long as they didn't steal it. And you were requesting information and trying to find information, like many others in the media, what was coming next, correct?
You're exactly right, Sean. We had right to do this. It was every journalist and person involved in political operations and the campaigns. Julian Assange not only dropped 40,000 emails on Debbie Wasserman Schultz in July 22nd, 2016. Within a day or two, he said he had more emails to come. And, of course, the speculation was rampant. I wanted to know. Everybody wanted to know. And I passed on a couple of emails to Ted Malloch to say, go see Assange. Roger had written those emails. But there's no crime in any of this. This is just normal politics.
Why are you confident? You seem confident the last time you were on the show that you were going to get a pre-dawn raid. You feel that it's less likely today. Why?
Much less likely. I think I've pushed back. I've written this book, Silent No More. The indictment suggests nothing I've done that's wrong. I believe I've done nothing wrong.
And you're prepared, though, if it does happen?
Well, I mean, if it does happen, we'll deal with it. But my family's prepared. But it has made my life, my family's life, my wife, the entire family a nightmare. And days you can't sleep, up days, bad days. This is not America. I was done nothing wrong. I was a journalist. I went in to the best of my ability with faulty memory. I can be convicted of having a bad memory, but I can't be convicted of telling the special counsel or the FBI something I knew to be false to deceive them. It didn't happen.
All right. We'll watch carefully. This is scary. You know, if Hillary Clinton can delete 33,000 subpoenaed emails, acid wash her hard drive, and bust up devices, nothing happens. All these other people, high-ranking people we know lied to Congress, nothing happens. Scary for this country.